Right now, the stage is an empty canvas. Let's hope our next magician can fill it with something brilliant. Let's see.
I live in St. Pauli, which is the entertainment district of Hamburg. Theater in Germany influenced my magic very strongly. German theater has a long tradition. Faust probably is one of the first examples of a magical figure in a theater play. The devil gave him magical powers to create a world where anything is possible. The world is turning faster and faster. I like the past. When I'm on stage, I dress in a historic way to do traditional stuff that's still very interesting nowadays. I handcraft my own props in my own workshop. I think my magic could change the world a little if people really let that touch their heart.
Please welcome the puzzling magic of Patrick Folkerts.
Thank you. Nice to be here. This piece I want to share with you is actually not just a trick or a puzzle to be solved, but rather a nice story that I want to share with you. It's a story that might teach you how to master the mystery of life. You see, just as many things in life, this old letter case is only a total of many different objects of unique size and shape, and only by a harmonic arrangement of these pieces, they form a unique composition we may call life. And most importantly, everything fits perfectly within the framework of our lives. Now, you could name each of these pieces individually, maybe a solid base, a happy childhood perhaps, or a proper education, your own hopes and fears, your beliefs and memories, probably good friends and family in the center of the arrangement, and maybe even some decisions that you regret. But actually, it's not so important which meaning you give to these pieces. Much more interesting is this process. What happens if suddenly one of these pieces that defines us starts to tumble? Well, of course, we adapt. And sometimes we even have to make some basic changes. But if all these pieces work well together, then it is always possible to form a unit and once again to achieve harmony. But life is never that easy, and destiny always has new challenges for us. But you could say that from time to time, destiny brings us something new that we have to arrange with. But how to include this new element into our perfect composition? I mean, every space is filled and it is already well stocked. So this whole unit slowly starts to crack under the pressure of the new experience. And sometimes it even all breaks down into pieces. Midlife crisis, quarter-life crisis, or something in between. And we have to ask ourselves, how do we find that harmonic shape again? Well, with a little self-reflection and patience, with self-confidence and effort, it is possible to integrate any new piece into this arrangement and still form that wonderful shape that makes it so unique. But life is a series of challenges, more and more challenging, and it has always new things for us, sometimes even bigger and more unexpected than we are prepared to handle. But, you know, to conquer these challenges, all we have to do is sometimes change our point of view to see things differently in order to come up with a solution. And now perhaps you understand that it's not about the size or the position of these pieces, nor about the significance we place on them, but rather about this harmonic composition they form. And of course, most importantly, that everything fits perfectly within the framework of our life.
You must be so good at organizing.
I'm glad that it seems like that once again. Enjoy that.
Your performance felt like it was from another time.
Well, I like timeless performances, and I'm mostly inspired by the past because I think there have been lots of ideas that have been discovered in the past, but they are some sort of forgotten. And nowadays, the world is turning faster and faster, so I like to rely on those old things and dress that way, behave that way, and live those old ideas. Yeah, you won't find a smartphone on me.
Oh, good. All right, well, let's see if your performance fooled Penn&Teller. Penn&Teller.
Hey.
Oh, boy, man, Patrick, it's so good. You know, we talk on this show. It's Penn&Teller Fool Us, and that means that we're always talking about methods. Mm-hmm. It's always, how do they do it? How do they do it? How do they do it? But it's rare that someone comes along and we get to say, what did he do? And you did something here that is a new effect. It's not a new way of doing something a lot of people have done. It's a new idea. Now, this is a mathematical thing. We've all seen the puzzle, two-dimensional, and we know how that moves around. That's not what you're doing. You're doing something that takes from that and grows tremendously. What's wonderful about this, boy, I like this. I liked it because it's so sweet. It's so tactile. Doing a three-dimensional is wonderful. And also you use the mathematical principles that are used in this in order to conceal when you did the dirty work earlier. Mm-hmm. It's a displacement in time. And I want to give you a chance here because we're going one of two ways. Uh-huh. Okay? Now, we got to choose one. We can't just keep more and more bites of this apple. So I'm going to tell you, we do not think that you snuck one of the pieces out. We don't think you did that. And if you snuck one of the pieces out and we didn't see you, you can tell us right now that you've won.
No, not
you
that
didn't.
Way.
You're too good for that. What we loved about this is the whole effect and how you compress all of life into one piece. This whole thing that you're talking about doing, which is, I'm going to tell you the story of life, you really kind of did. And we just loved it. And I got to tell you, whether you fooled us or not, that is a fabulous effect. And we spend a lot of our time thinking, what tricks can we do? It may be harder than how you do them, and you've done that part of it. But I don't think you fooled us.
So, did they figure it out?
We're all happy.
Patrick Folkerts!
Thank you. Cheers.